Hi Luke, thank you for attending our LGBTQ plus Pride celebration. It's been a month where staff and supporters have learned a lot about LGBTQ plus in the community. So I'd like to learn more about your story, Luke. So tell us where it all started and where it began for you.
I played at a same professional standards, but almost entirely in the reserves and sat on the bench where, like I said, I was very fortunate to be in the environment I was in. I was nowhere near good enough to be there, and I was very well looked after at my first club, which was actually at Cairney Town in the Ryman League as it was back then. And it quickly come to fruition that I might know a little bit about football, but I can't play it. So my boss said, look, you're the worst player I've ever seen, but you've got a brain. Do you want to be my do you want to be my assistant manager? And by the time I'm in my early 20s, I'm the assistant manager of a reserve team of a Ryman club, and from there I just worked my way up. And by the time I'm 26, 27, I'm the head coach. It was number 2 at Hartley Whitney. And we had a lot of success there. We won. We finished in promotion place 3 years in a row. We took the club from step 5 all the way to finishing on the edge of the playoffs in step 3, trying to push for a place in the Conference South, which was absolutely insane for a club of that level. And from there, I got my first number 1 job, and yeah, I've kicked on from there with the support of a lot of good people around me.
Amazing, you are truly inspirational. Luke, I've read your article in 2020 with Adrian Charles on you coming out as gay. You are one of the few open male football professionals. Can you tell us more about that and how that was for you coming out and how it was for your family at the time?
Well, I come out as a maybe 16-year-old at my football club, like I said, at Cairney, and I'm probably showing my age here where I say that ID wasn't quite as big a thing in bars as it is now. And the boys got me into a club when I was probably 15, I was probably 16 by now. And they're like, this is Tuffs, don't worry, he's not going to cause any problems, we'll look after him, kick him out ourselves if he's an idiot. So they've got him in with me, and they asked me, well, why aren't you chatting to those girls over there that are looking at you? And being very, very drunk, I showed him a picture of my boyfriend, and immediately when I sobered up, I panicked, but it was all for nothing, and they were very protective of me, and they were very, very supportive of me. It was really, really good.
So can you tell us the biggest challenge you faced whilst coming out?
I think when you're coming out, the big worry is, are people around you going to disown you? And how are people going to act, like whether it be family members, whether it be friends, whether it be teammates and things like that? Because you've got friends that you've known for years, but people, without even meaning to, they will use like gay slang as synonymous for the letter, like, oh, that's gay, or they'll use other words that are slightly homophobic without even meaning to be. And because of it, you're always thinking, oh, does he actually think that? Does he think like this? And so it's always a worry, it's always a weight on you. For me, like I said, I come out at such a young age that it's not something that is massively in my life now compared to some people that happen to come out in the older age. But even now, if I come up against someone, alongside someone, I don't know if they know who I am, and then I'm worried about what if they find out. Will it make a difference to them? Will it stop me getting this job opening? Will a player maybe not sign for me or something like that? And like I said, I think the vast majority, I think football is reflected by greater society and vice versa. And I think that the stigma is lifting and it is becoming more acceptable to be who you are. And because of it, I don't think it causes me many problems, being honest. But there's always that 1-2% chance that you are genuinely worried about.
Why do you think it's been so hard for participants in mainstream sports to openly state they are gay, bisexual, lesbian or transgender?
I think it depends at what level you're talking about. So lower down in the semi-professional game, like with myself, like I said, I've had no problems whatsoever. I've been met with nothing but love and support, and I'm very fortunate that I'm surrounded by such good people. And I don't think it's going to impact my career negatively at all. I genuinely believe that, and I think that I know plenty of other people that are out that are LGBTQ plus in the semi-professional game, be it players, coaches, managers, referees, secretaries, whatever, and they've all got a place and they're very successful in their fields. I think the issue is when you go to elite sport, as I said, football is a representation of your culture and your environment, of the country as a whole. And as much as UK values have changed for the good, in my opinion, for LGBTQ plus people, you've got to remember that the Premier League and the Championship are not UK sport. That's world sport. The Premier League is a world business, and there are people around the world that harbour very different views, and they're educated in a very different way, whether that be through religion, whether that just be through their country's culture, and because of it, you might be in the Premier League dressing room and you're sat next to people from countries that it's illegal to be gay. So that worry and that risk about coming out, what's that going to do for you? The Premier League is full of managers from other countries where, again, LGBTQ plus rights aren't as advanced as they are here. So as a player, how many players get another professional contract? Especially young ones. Very, very small percentage chance. So why are you going to do anything that is going to flip that percentage even lower for you? You're not going to risk that. And Jake Daniels, what a brave young man, by the way. But it's a very, very difficult thing to do. Because as much as I've said, look, I don't think it affects my life lower down, I don't think that stopped me getting any jobs or anything. Well, in the elite game, what if you've got a manager that comes from a country that it's illegal to be gay in? What if he's 50-50 between you and another player? You're literally, who's he going to sign? Or what if he's going to be worried about how it's going to be in the dressing room or something like that?
Luke, how do you feel about current initiatives in sport, and do you think there is more sport can do to help individuals feel more comfortable to come out?
There's always more that sport and football can do, but it's definitely going in the right way. Like I said, football is a reflection of greater society, I believe. Usually 5 to 10 years behind, but it's certainly going the right way. Things like the Rainbow Lace initiative are absolutely massive, and having players from the Premiership game wearing laces that say, actually, it's okay to be who you are. I don't hate you for being you. I accept you for being you is massive. The amount of young LGBTQ plus teenagers that are growing up looking at a sport thinking, does this welcome me? Can I have a place in this game? And actually the elite of the elite saying, yes, you can. And things like that are massive. And that changes opinions. It's huge.
Can you tell me if there would be an increase in LGBTQ plus participants in sport if there were more role models like yourself?
Potentially, yes, but I think they're already out there. I just think what it would do is it would allow more people to be who they are and feel free to say who they are and not have to hide who they are. And let's be honest, that's a really important thing. I know there'll be a lot of people even watching this will think, well, this has got nothing to do with football. Football should be football. This is politics or this is personal life. You don't realise it's all intricately joined up here. Because, for example, in a football dressing room, you're together all day, every day, especially in the professional game. You know everything about each other. You know each other's wives. You talk about each other, your girlfriends. You talk about kids. You talk problems at home. You talk about where you're going out at night. And if you're having to hide and lie about who you're going out with, what girl you like, or this or that, what bar you're going to, eventually the lies build up and it's agony worrying about what have I said, trying to catch up with yourself. And that can't do anything to bring out the best in you, whether you're a manager, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, whether you're a secretary. Having that stress on you can in no way allow elite performance, which is what we're after here, by the way. So allowing that more role models allows more people to come out, that allows more people to be themselves, and that actually allows the quality of everything we do to go up as well. And I don't think people see that.
You mentioned the dressing room hysteria has always been a big factor in football. What advice would you give to a sporting athlete that has not found a way to express themselves just yet?
I do think that, I don't think it can be advice. I think all it can be is my personal experiences. And my personal experiences are you're going to be met with nothing but love and support, certainly in the same professional game. And of course, you're always going to get that 1%, that minority that might think differently or whatnot, but they're not people you need in your lives anyway. And I said the overwhelming majority now will look after you and give you nothing but love and support and will treat you no differently than you already do. But what's also really important to know is that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to come out. You do things in your own time, in a safe environment, in a way that is right for you. No one can say you have to do this or you have to do that. But if you feel the time is right, I'm almost certain that you'll be met with nothing but love and support.
How important are allies in driving change?
Allies are so important in driving change. And as I said, the more people visibly support LGBTQ plus people being able to be their natural selves, the more young people feel free to be who they are. And as I said, the more Premiership players that wear the laces, that speak out for LGBTQ plus rights, that make it an environment where people can be themselves quite happily, that you're not only changing football, you're saving lives out there, because there are still LGBTQ plus people that still think they're better off dead than being who they are, and that isn't acceptable. And football's always got a place to play in the world in driving change and making the world a better place for all. And I think that's really important.
We met in the LGBTQ plus Professionals in Football Collective. Can you tell me the importance on events like those and how it helps those like yourself express themselves and continue to inspire and galvanise the next generation?
Yeah, look, firstly, we keep talking about visibility, and the first thing that does is that increases visibility, which again is so important to everyone, that you're not alone and there are others like you out there in the game that are not only in the game but are thriving and are successful. The second thing it's really good for is it's great for networking and being able to speak to people with similar life experiences to you have, and that have gone through the same things that you've gone through. And it's great just to be able to talk things through with other people in a supportive environment where you know that the other person listening will not only be able to relate but will be able to help you. And as I said, I still think the overriding thing there is the visibility. So important that people can see that there are others like them and can do well.
At Fulham Football Club, we've held 2 awareness sessions in celebration of Pride Month. Can you tell us the importance of education?
Yeah, it's really important. And look, I don't think people are naturally homophobic or anything like that. I think it's learnt behaviour over time. And as much as behaviour can be learnt, it can be unlearnt. And I think over time, by reaching out to different people and engaging and just showing that LGBTQ plus people are absolutely no different to you or to you or to you. We're just people that happen to be born a certain way with slight differences that should be celebrated, and everyone's got a part to play in football. I think that's really important, and I also think that we can do more as a football club and as football as a whole by calling out again homophobic behaviour in the terraces and things like that. And again, it doesn't always need to be anger and you can't do this and you can't say that and things like that. It can be having open conversations saying, actually, this is a problem, saying this because of this and this. And I think that when you engage with people through conversation, I think that you get much better results.